Good day. I hope everybody's had a wonderful Christmas, is continuing to have a wonderful holiday. It's been an amazing 2022. Back in 2020, for me, I call that year the year of vision. And I've talked a lot about all the visions that I had and a lot of the ones that set my spirit free. And 2021 was a true rebirth, and with a rebirth comes first a death, and that death was letting go of who I thought I was, and who I thought were my friends, and who I thought were my family. And these are the times when huge changes happen to a person, and that I went through a huge amount of anguish and came out of the darkest place ever and rose out slowly. It was a hard year, 2021. But you know what? 2022, regardless of the fact that my wife Melanie went back to Austria, I've been able to stay solid in my mind. God has fortified me in my soul. He's given me the ability to push through all hard situations. And I've learned so many things. And He's continuing to praise me with all of these things. And so as much as it can be hard at times to choose this path because it can be lonely, you never really are alone when you're with the Lord. And I guess also my cute little puppies. Hey guys. Hey buddy. Yeah. It makes it a lot easier when you got these beautiful animals around also. You know, this year was a big year. It was the end of the 7-year Shemitah. Oh yeah? What? Bugging me? It was the end of the 7-year Shemitah cycle, which is, what? Want to say please? And, you know... Is that right? Yeah, is that right? Yeah. Go to bed. Go to bed. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go to bed, Gandhi. Go to bed. So this year we've had the 7-year Shemitah cycle ended, and a lot of people were like, is this going to be the big Shemitah year? And it's looking like it's probably going to be the next one that's going to be the big Shemitah. So, you know, coming up to September 2029 is maybe another really important date that's coming a ways from now. But we had the Queen's death, and, you know, if we look back at 1066 BC, sorry, when we look back at 1066, that's when the English monarchs started their power. And so now we're almost 1,000 years later, and we're seeing the Queen, the head of the snake, coming down. You know, and what else happened right around then was 1054 is when we had the Great Schism, and when the, you know, Orthodox separated from the Catholic Church. And so I look at these cycles that come back around, and we just notice that the Vatican is involved with this this new 10 Commandments, and
the whole world needs to cut our emissions by half by 2030. And they're not yet. We take these green commandments, we look down to Sharm el-Sheikh, and we're not satisfied.
And uniting with all the different religions, and uniting under what roof is what we should be asking in these situations. You know, anytime somebody's worried about logistical issues, they move money around, you know. Well, I see that we're coming to an end. These two powers came together around the same time 1,000 years ago, And now we're going to put them 1,000 years underground. You know, in the 1730s to 1740s was the first Great Awakening. And as with the collective consciousness rises in time, a lot of the time they're hijacked. Just like it's trying to be hijacked right now by this woke BS. Right? So they hijack it and then they delete all of the collective consciousness, and then the peaks go back down, the collective consciousness goes down, but it never goes down as far. And then again, we have another second Great Awakening, and that was the 1800s to 1830s. And then they put the people back to sleep, but it doesn't go, the collective consciousness doesn't go as far down again. And then there's the third Great Awakening, which is 1900s to the 1940s. And what happened after that, which we still don't know the truth about, is these great wars, the world wars that happened. And we put back to sleep. But where are we again here in 2000 to 2030? Well, this is the fourth and the final Great Awakening that's going to send these demons back underground for 1,000 years. Because there's no way they can delete this out of our collective consciousness now. And the same thing that put us under the power of these evil people, this internet and our ability to communicate so quickly, is the same thing that spread this truth so fast. And that's why they're trying in all these ways to censor people's speech and trying to throw people into the digital gulags, which is being deleted off the internet, as I have been, And as you can see, we can't even say certain words without getting shadow banned or deleted altogether from YouTube. And this new 10 Commandments, it's just ridiculous. I don't know what to think about that. And, this year we found out that residential school story, that they found those mass graves in May 2021. They found out in May 2022, this year, that was the biggest fake news hoax of Canadian history. And so that's another huge deception that was outed, which should be pointing out what kind of story were they trying to tell with these huge deceptions, And then we look at all the Balenciaga and all these stuff being exposed. Like, this is the Great Awakening that cannot be stopped. And so I think about these things, and what kind of great deceptions are they going to use on us the next 7 years? If we look at the History Channel, which is actually owned by Disney, which is owned by all these sick people that are trying to give us implanted visions of the future. And they've been doing it forever. That's what Hollywood's all about, right? Hollywood is a branch from the holly tree, which is a magic wand, right? It's the conductor that conducts the orchestra so it goes perfect time to them. Well, that's what Hollywood's all about, and all of these companies that fall under Disney Corporation. So I think, what have they been talking about all this time? They've been talking about the Bible mixing with extraterrestrials. And don't get me wrong, I really do believe that there's been higher technological beings around in ancient times. I think there is enough archaeological evidence to point at this. And I do believe that you could have an advanced race on this side of the planet, as the same on this side of the planet. And let's talk about the planet a little bit. We wonder why people are questioning everything they've been taught. And I actually respect those that don't trust NASA, considering they, bring 1,600 Nazi scientists over to after World War II. To consider that these are another one of these companies that are affiliated with this dark network that's trying to keep us in some kind of a story. So these people shouldn't be trusted. And I like the humility of being like, hey, I don't know all the science that's been told by these astronauts to me. How would I know? I've never seen any of this besides what I've seen in my own sight. And I believe that should be usually the case. Should we only believe what we see? Well, absolutely not. I'm a believer in something that is I have seen, but it is now something that I know people haven't seen and is real. But even is seeing, let's go off that premise for a second. Is seeing really believing? When this they've brought 24 theologians together to discuss how they're going to, and to me, I see this as how are we going to get a cult following behind whatever thing we're going to put out to the world. Because they put out these flying saucers and the U.S. Army is trying to get people to look at it, and people are distracted and they haven't really cared too much about the whole UFO thing. However, is seeing believing when it comes to UFOs? Well, now we have to be skeptical as ever, because take a look at this hologram here. So as you can see, that is serious. That in the middle of it, they could trick people into anything these days, and people are waiting for somebody to come and give them a story to believe in right now. So I think about all these stories that they're trying to embed in our mind about aliens and how every single great person of the past is probably talking to aliens or an alien themselves. Well, after this huge deception right here, I'm just going to put a little video I put together. Have a little look at this.
Was the Pfizer tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping immunisation before it's entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of science to really understand what is taking place in the market. And from that point of view, we had to do everything at risk.
The next question is, okay, but what about the fact, is it really safe and is it really effective? Or is this something the government is trying to put over on us? Is this something the companies want to take advantage of? Well, let's take a look at what's happened over the past few months. We've had clinical trials, and thanks to the volunteers in that trial, in tens of thousands who have put themselves on the line to prove to the country and the world that these are safe and effective products. It is really bittersweet.
After they deceived people into getting this bioweapon, no wonder people question. Maybe the world is the cube Earth, right? But you know what? I think there is something intuitive we all feel. There is some land being hidden from us. There's some huge truths that are going to blow our minds when they're finally told to us. And that's why I sometimes think if you're worried about the flat earth thing and or worried about talking flat earth people out of it, like, how does that change our lives? Let's not be divided now. This is one of those, I think, the psyops to divide people too, is like, oh, you're one of those people who still believes the earth's round. Well, who the hell knows, right? I like that humility, and if you're flat earther, then keep the humility of that I don't know, but I like to look at these other truths. It would not be too far out to think that everything that we have been shown, every person that's gotten a pedestal up to this point, even those that seem to be saviors, are all a part of the story they want you to see. And I'm a person that believes that that is mostly, they're almost mostly true. Almost mostly. But I do like the fact that what I saw with Jordan Peterson, especially after his, sketchy move with joining the Daily Wire. Some of these guys, I've made videos on some of these guys and my thoughts upon them, and they mix in a lot of truth with a lot of other messages that I don't stand with. And the fact that Jordan chose to choose this group over groups that could have helped balance his masculine and feminine was a sketchy choice as far as as a person that admires him. And also I see that what happened with Netanyahu on the Daily Wire and on his podcast, and I made a video on that, I'll put it up here, but there's part of me that doesn't trust that he is as strong as I thought he was. There was a side of me that thought he was a little too orthodox and just didn't look at the world as much as I do, as there could be conspiracies everywhere. Some people might call me paranoid because of the way I look at the world, but if you look at all the crazy stuff that has been exposed and all the conspiracy theories that are now conspiracy facts, we should be questioning things. We shouldn't be going around calling people Antichrist, and he's such a Christ-like figure, and if he started to lead people astray and he was actually conscious about that, then that would make him an Antichrist. But if he's just leading people astray because he's lives in a little bit of a world where he doesn't open his eyes to the conspiracies, which I feel like I'm giving him a lot to make that be a truth, then so be it. But we really do have to look at everything we see on our tablet or phone is a story they want us to see, right? So watch it in that way and you'll start to see your own truth. Or don't watch it at all and just experience life that's really happening in your own world, And I wanted to throw just a thank you out to a few channels that I've watched on YouTube that have really helped, feel like I have a little bit of an online family that thinks the same as I do. And I think it's really hard to find people that are truly awakened and trying to do these same things and spread these truths. So it's I wanted to spread a thanks to Russell Brand, to Michael from Our Everyday Lives, Inspired Channel, We Are Change, and Academy of Ideas. And I'll put all of their links down below in the description. And I really appreciate those that use their platform and to speak those truths and help bring us to that new world and help us get these demons under the ground for 1,000 years. If we can, a lot of people don't realize how important it is for us to understand these weird things that are happening around religion are. Many of the people that are going to be fighting passionately towards things are the ones that are fighting for what they think is God or truly is God. As you can see in my videos, I do still talk about these things that are being exposed in the Matrix. And I think it's important for us to point out these important things that are being exposed. And that just helps us that are talking with each other on here to get more evidence to these people and help people get out of the river and out of the river of ignorance. Because right now, if you haven't started to seek your awakening after all of this deception is being exposed, then you're being ignorant, and I really do believe that ignorance is wickedness, you know. So yeah, we should keep an eye on things so we can help point to some truths. However, I do believe we have to look at how we're going to build back up after this war is over. And the war to me has already been won. It's now about getting our communities back together so we can thrive together again. And to be honest, a big part of that is coming together around God and understanding what truth is and what God really is. Because a house that is divided will fall. And the fact that they're doing this Abraham Accord and doing all these signings as if they've, taken votes from all the Muslims, Jews, and Christians in the world, as if they've found some peace together. As we've seen in my other videos recently, and as everyone knows, the Palestinians are being pushed out of Israel. I somehow doubt that we're coming to actually any kind of true peace accord. And I really do believe that if we can stand up and shine our beauty and play our music, and that's why I've been putting a lot of music on my site, and I'm going to put together a compilation of some of the music that I did live this year on my channel. I'm going to release that on New Year's, I believe, or somewhere close to New Year's. But that's what we have to do, is just, is create and bring light into this world and speak truth into this world. And music is how you hypnotize people. And if you're going to hypnotize people, then use the 432 hertz and heal their body while they're doing it, and use the right words so that you're healing their mind and allowing these beautiful flowers to grow in the mind. Because once we experience the mind blossom, which is that true connection to God, that's when we are set free, and how our communities can be set free. So I love you all, and God bless you.